Well, if you don't know me, hi, my name is Heather. I'm the music director here at the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. And I want to say welcome to the first Sunday of the month. Welcome to a new month. It's March. All right, so let's stand and let's sing Everything New.
All right, yes.
Everyone. I want to welcome you all to CSL, Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. It's getting warmer, but it's not too hot yet. Yay. All right. Well, good morning. My name is Amy Cover, and I am your trustee on duty today on behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees. I am privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of our programs, you will find our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligence power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I believe as happy, healthy, and complete, and so it is. Do we have any first-time visitors that would like to be acknowledged? Raise your hand. And we're all home folk. I want to tell you, let's see, that was for visitors. I want to thank all the people that made this Sunday celebration possible. Mainly, that's all of you. It wouldn't be the same without you. If you were not here, it would not be the same. And you all know that's so true. Please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletins. And if you're watching online, please join us at cslaz.org for our announcements and events calendar. Would you please silence your cell phones?
Thank you.
Yes, I have to change the station on the dial, so bear with me. Thank you all very much. Through your generosity, we didn't quite reach our goal, but there's still time before the year ends. But the total was $97,380. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. So next week, I'll be up to talk about the budget.
Nobody. Gotta just get adjusted.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you, and is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. Now, this is funny. Oh, first of all, I better light the candle. I'm kind of half here today, in case you wondered. So I light this candle representing the light within each and every one of us and ask you to allow your light to shine out. and touch everyone. So we are accepting your prayer requests over there at the prayer table. You don't have to write your address and all of that. Just put the condition and who it is and what you want. It's important to know what you want. And today is Miraculous Moments. So if you'd like a prayer after service, look for a practitioner with their stole on and ask them for prayer. So Donna sent me the topic. This is what's so funny. It says, a deep breath of spring. And I heard spring cleaning. So I came up with this, spring cleaning my mind. We do not need to suffer or be in misery in this life in order to do well in the world. Many of us have deep-seated belief that in order to do well in the world, we have to suffer and sacrifice. This commonly held idea stems from a certain mentality inherited from ancestors who came before us and may have experienced this. Beliefs from our own past life experience can also make an appearance in this lifetime. This is often the way in which false beliefs take hold and don't let go, even when they're no longer relevant. We must all live our own lives in our own time and learn what is true for us. Very few truths prove valid for all people all the time. Keeping our minds clear of false notions is not an easy task. It requires us to first know our beliefs. Very often, these beliefs have settled deep in our unconscious minds, where they simply sit unquestioned. Nevertheless, they have an effect on our hearts, our minds, and our reality. These beliefs act on us, creating situations and relationships that we regard as fate, when they are in fact simply our unconscious minds manifesting in the external world. As a result, we may not even be aware that we are carrying the burden of a poverty mentality, and we may wonder why we are not manifesting abundance, especially if we know we deserve it. If this is the case, it may be time to look deeper within to see if we can discover the obstacle inside of ourselves. In order to evolve, it's important that we examine the contents of our minds and our hearts and get to the root of what we believe about reality. Generally, our concerns of the moment can be trusted to guide our inquiries. If we are not manifesting and maintaining the abundance we know we deserve, then this issue is calling us to look into the hidden corners of our psyche and root out any remaining beliefs that tell us we must suffer and sacrifice in order to do well. Our efforts will take us one more step away from this energy-sapping belief that we no longer need. The original life is infinite. It is good. It is filled with peace. It is the essence of purity. It's the ultimate of intelligence. It is power. It is law. It is life. It is in us. In that inner sanctuary of our own nature, hidden perhaps from objective gaze, nestles the seed, perfection. In our ignorance of the truth, we have misused the highest power we possess. As so great is this power, so complete is our freedom in it, so absolute the domain of law through it, that the misuse of this power has brought upon us very conditions from which we suffer. We are bound because we are first free. The power which appears to bind us is the only power in the universe that can free us. This is why Jesus summed up the whole philosophy in his simple statement, quote, "It is done unto you as you believe." The good is always here and now. Clean out the old, no longer working perceptions that you nurtured along the path and let them go. Our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of a principle, which of itself is without limit. It is ready to fill everything because it is infinite. So it is not a question of its willingness nor its ability. It is entirely a question of our own receptivity. Cleaning our limiting beliefs makes room for new, fresh perceptions and frequencies. Perhaps this time we realize we no longer need to suffer or sacrifice in order to enjoy the love, peace, and honoring that life offers. The thing then works for us by working through us and is us always. It cannot work for us in any other way. It spreads itself over the whole universe and shouts at us from every angle. But it can become a power to us only when we recognize it as a power. Namaste. Thank you. I'll hold the high watch.
This is a song that I wrote, let's see. The lyric is 35 years, so 42 minus 35. So 7 years ago? Okay. It's a song about my past life. Well, I won't live in the shadow of my past life, but I know that I can't leave her behind. When all my heroes start dying, start to feel like my own time's flying. Well, I've had 35 years to figure it out, that it can't be others' feelings that I'm singing about. Well, it seems like there's nothing left, but I know I haven't even opened yet. No, I won't live in the shadow of my past life. No, I won't live in the shadow of my past life. Do I have the courage to leave her behind? Shadow took me all over the countryside, in planes and trains, a greyhound besides, learning all the ways about how to express my emotions with people who made me feel less. Put your square peg into those round holes. You can be our whipping post, your words for our souls. No, I won't live in the shadow of my past life. No, I won't live in the shadow of my past life. Then with a heart that's newly blessed, walk with the sun rays
just always connected with the souls that I've touched, with the shadows and the clouds not behind me so much. Maybe if I give you my own feelings, well, maybe I can pass along my own healing. No, I won't live in the shadow of my past life. No, I won't. I won't live in the shadow of my past life. I know it's time to leave her behind. Wow. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning. Good morning. And I just want to thank Heather and our Sonoran Desert players for our pledge campaign that for the month of February. I think they did a great job, and to be within less than $3,000 to our goal is phenomenal. And I want you to know, you don't have to be a member to pledge if you really feel like this is your spiritual home. However, if you are a member, part of membership is that we do pledge. We did that when we bought our property because we felt like we're homeowners, and we all share in this. So anyway, so actually starts April 2nd is our year. So you have a whole month of March to consider a pledge. Okay, enough of the advertisements. March 20th is the first day of spring. Can you believe that? Yeah, well, we don't have to clap because we've had spring all winter. But spring marks the vernal equinox, the time when the length of the day and the night are even. And that's why it's called equinox, equal night. And the beauty of March is in the anticipation of coming warmer weather. Melinda mentioned spring cleaning, and I remember as a little girl, that was what we did in Missouri. I mean, sometime during the month of March, we polished floors, we scrubbed windows. I mean, it was a real ritual of spring cleaning. But it's also the anticipation of warmer weather, a rebirth of flowers, the greening of the trees. And yet so often the very first part of March is still winter. It's cold and windy and uncomfortable. So I've used as a topic this morning, in like a lion, out like a lamb, from the proverb that says just that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. My very first official talk as your spiritual leader was on the first Sunday in March 2006. 19 years ago. Can you believe we've been together that long? But after the service, a bunch of us went to the Cow Palace for brunch. And while we were eating, it snowed so hard that we could not see out of the windows. But the time that we left, the snow was almost totally melted and we could see just fine. So that was my introduction to March coming in like a lion in Arizona. In ancient Rome, the new year began in March, not January. And March 1 was the festival of Matronalia, and it was dedicated to women and children, and celebrating Juno Lucina, the goddess of childbirth and motherhood. And here in the States, the month of March has been named Women's History Month, honoring the contributions of women. President Jimmy Carter wrote, "From the first settlers that came to our shores, from the first American Indian families who befriended them, men and women have worked together to build this nation. Too often, the women were unsung, and sometimes their contributions went unnoticed. But the achievements, leadership, courage, strength, and love of the women who built America was as vital as that of the men whose names we know so well." So I looked it up, the theme for Women's History Month this year is moving forward together. Women educating and inspiring generations. And according to Forbes, this theme aims to recognize women who have dedicated their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership. And the key word in this initiative, according to Forbes, is together. So just as in Rome, we have our own dedication of women. And I do feel that March is the perfect month to celebrate it because it represents fertility, new birth, new growth. And we see that all around us. We can watch the vines beginning to flower. We can watch trees having new leaves. And one of the things I love in spring is to watch the baby quail following their mom and dads, and also the lizards that come out of hibernation to play in our walkway. So what does all this mean in the way of a spiritual lesson? Mythologist Joseph Campbell often referred to the Sanskrit phrase tat tuam asi, which is translated as thou art that. The full phrase is thou art that which I am that which thou art. And I think sometimes that we get so caught up in our little window of the world that we don't see these connections with nature, with ancient peoples, with others whom we may never meet, but who nevertheless have contributed to our well-being. And also with the cosmic mystery that is life itself. And sometimes we need to be reminded of those connections through celebrations, rites, rituals that honor a god or a goddess, that call out the contributions of men or women, of blacks, of indigenous cultures, who otherwise may be forgotten. One of my favorite movies of all time is Hidden Figures. Incredible contribution of intelligent black women that went under the radar for so many years, and I honor whoever chose to make that into a film. So sometimes we need to be reminded that we are each God in expression, and as such, we are all one and we're connected. A Course in Miracles says there's only one of us here, and that one expresses in many guises. Several years ago, I watched a news commentary showing a video of a 9-year-old boy from Australia with dwarfism. His mother filmed it to show what bullying had done to her child. He was crying uncontrollably and screaming, "I want to die, I want to die." And the commentator began to tear up about the same time that I did. And I wondered how many of us watching that suffering child had our hearts broken in that moment. And what is that? What is that? German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer asked, how is it possible that suffering that is neither my own nor of my concern should immediately affect me as though it were my own, and with such force that it moves me to action? And we've all experienced that. When my son was in high school, he managed to wrap his car around a pole, and he was trapped inside it, and it started to catch fire. Even though it was dangerous, there were 2 men that came running forward to help. And although they couldn't get to him, they stayed right there while the EMT cut him out with the jaws of life. And afterwards, one of the men said, "I could not have lived with myself if this boy had died and I had done nothing." So the answer to Schopenhauer's question is that the immediate reaction and response represents the breakthrough of the metaphysical realization best rendered as thou art that. Tat tuam asi. That outer barrier that is penetrated, and there is no longer an other that is a stranger, but someone, according to Schopenhauer, with whom I suffer in spite of the fact that his skin does not enfold my nerves. And this fundamental insight brought Schopenhauer to the revelation that my own true inner being actually exists in every living creature and is the ground of that compassion upon which all true, that is to say, unselfish virtue rests, and whose expression is in every good deed. So the commentator and I were brought to tears because our inner being exists in that little boy. And Brad Williams, at the time, Brad Williams, an actor with dwarfism, saw the video, which went viral, and began a GoFundMe page to help send this little boy to Disneyland. And at the time of the news clip, they had raised over $350,000. The man risked his own life to save my son because his inner being exists in my son. My inner being exists in you, and your inner being exists in me. Thou art that. At that level beyond the physical, known as the metaphysical, we are all connected. We are all one life, one God, individualized in human form. So we come from a unity that can never be broken, even though sometimes it appears to be. And what all of these events do is to help us realize our connection with each other, with all life, and with mystery that is contained in this life. And to me, recognizing that relationship is a crux of my spiritual quest. My life expands as I become a part of a greater whole. In his book, Thou Art That, Joseph Campbell writes, "The primary purpose of a dynamic mythology, which we may underscore as its properly religious function, is to awaken and maintain in the person an experience of awe, humility, and respect in recognition of that ultimate mystery that transcends every name and every form." And he goes on into how many of us has the weight described by the physicist Erwin Schrödinger been born that this life of yours that you are living is not merely a piece of the entire existence, but is, in a certain sense, the whole. Only the whole is not so constituted that it can be surveyed in one simple glance. This is what the Brahmins expressed in that sacred mystic formula that is really so simple and so clear. Tat Twamasi, that is you, thou art that. You know, when we isolate the events of our life and we see them as separate and individual and not linked to a deeper connection, then I think we lose that sense of what is holy and sacred. We ignore the divinity that is tucked into every event, and we hide from ourselves the transcendent part of us that is God expressing as us. Meister Eckhart said, "Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things." Every single creature is full of God and is a book about God. Every creature is a word of God. And for me, this is the aim of my spirituality, to try to see God in all things, to see the transcendent within the mundane. The honoring of women through Matronalia, or Women's History Month, is a celebration of the divine feminine that is part of all life. And when I can see that, when I can see the connection, then I can honor all women and myself as a woman, because the inner being of every woman since the beginning of time exists in me and in you, whether we're man or woman. Every man exists in me and in you. And that connection reaches beyond creatures into the mystery of the cosmos. You know, many of you know that I often get up around 3 o'clock to put my talk together. It seems like that's when my muse is awake. But sometimes I'll go outside and I'll look up at Orion when he's visible. And I will verbally ask him for inspiration and guidance. Well, do I think Orion is a real entity who's going to reply to me? No, I don't. But I think my interaction with something mystical happens that takes me beyond words. Orion is one of the oldest constellations with roots in many cultures. It's one of the 48 constellations first cataloged by Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century. How many people since the 2nd century have looked into the night sky and asked Orion for help? I'm not alone. I don't think so. And I think all of those other conversations exist in me. And it's when I get my littleness, my ego out of the way, that I can open myself up to a cosmic response from my request for inspiration. Yeah, I've had some other thoughts about our topic, in like a lion and out like a lamb. And I've asked what else it means besides a cold, stormy beginning and a warm ending. But what I came up for is, how many times have I responded to a hurtful situation like a lion? Fierce, angry, ready to pounce because I've been wronged. And yet, if I can stay with that experience until I can love myself through it, until I can let go and forgive and see the connections, then my demeanor becomes gentle like the lion. And I think that's true for each and every one of us. And if we can play a game with this, you know? So I'm cut off on the freeway by an erratic driver. Rather than get mad, I can make up a story. This man just found out his wife had a heart attack and he's on his way to the hospital. Would I be angry at him if that were true? I can make it true in my mind that this is what I'm doing. I don't have to stay with, he's an idiot. So it takes that pithy March statement into something that we can use to deepen our own spiritual practice. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us we are all living in a world of continuing change, a world in which thought, thing, and experience are all in a constant state of flux. It is the very nature of the universe that there should be continual change and variation. It is a living world, the creation of a living creative intelligence. But behind that which changes, behind that which causes a change, we have found that there is something stable and changeless, something eternal upon which all of the eternal external events depend for their very existence. Behind the endless process of change and the infinite variety of experience and expressions, there is that which does not change. And we find this thing, this is a quote from Waldo Emerson that I've always loved. We know better than we do. We do not yet possess ourselves, and we know at the same time that we are much more. I feel the same truth how often in my trivial conversation with my neighbors that something higher in each of us overlooks this byplay, and Jove nods to Jove from behind each of us. You just see that? My Jove is watching your Jove. It's really cool. I love that concept. So not only is this concept shared by many spiritually enlightened men and women, but most of us have had a personal mystical experience, what the German psychotherapist Karl Durkheim calls a privileged moment. I love that, don't you? A privileged moment. I once saw a poster that read, "Life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away." And those are the privileged moments, the mystical encounters where we glimpse a reality and a connection that transcends what we know from our logic and our intellect. And often it does take our breath away. I remember when I was in Florida, there was a little walkway next to the power plant and water underneath it. And as I was standing at the edge of it, there was a mama and baby manatee. And that little baby manatee looked into my eyes and into my heart. I swear it did. And I remember that from 45 years ago. So I think the spiritual quest for you and me is to watch for this interplay, to become aware that each experience can be a call to the divinity within us, within everyone, and within everything. It is to recognize that our own true inner being exists in every living creature and in every experience, and that they exist in us. Tat Tuam Asi, thou art that. Thank you. Namaste.
And I know I got my harmonizers out there. You can feel free to harmonize. Love it. Here we go. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive lavish, rich prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive lavish, rich prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. Well, let's do it one more time. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive lavish, rich prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is for me. Nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It's time for our offering. Chance to put that divine law of circulation in process. And won't you join me in our offering affirmation? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
If you know the hand movements to this one, let me know. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, attitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me. To the left, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, and above, gratitude above me, gratitude gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful.
Wow. And how grateful I am that we have this spiritual family and community that is so generous in so many, many ways. I'm going to include in our prayer request for Gregory, Paul's partner. He got a cactus in his eye. Yeah, and unfortunately he doesn't have any insurance, so he's trying to take care of it himself. So we need to do our work that it works. I mean, I know he's a very spiritual person, so and he is kind of got a background in some kinds of I forget what it is, but maybe I think he knows what he knows. Something within him is going to know what to do, how to do it, and make it all better. So we're going to include him today, and always we include Lynn and Dawn. So let's just take a moment right now to close this portion out in prayer. To know that there is one divine intelligence as it expresses in each and every creation. One mind, one heart, one love. And we not only express it, but we feel it as those precious moments come into us in ways that take our breath away, and in ways that we take responsibility for someone else, because that someone else is me. I speak my word for peace on this planet. I speak a word for our Pope, for divine right action in his life. And the words he expressed this morning were for peace in the world. So I declare that no matter what I see or hear, that above and beyond all of that, there is a peace and a harmony and a love that is greater than any exterior experience. So knowing this is true, I give thanks and release these words to the mind of God, knowing that it is all good and very good, as we say together, and so it is. Okay, thank you. May we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. So let there be